Let me tell you guys a story. But first, let's wait for this plane to disappear. What the hell's going on back there? It's like someone... This is like the first time I've heard a helicopter in Italy, I think, in my life. It's usually like planes. There's never like a helicopter because we don't really have the money for that. But I'm going to tell you guys a story of when I was pickpocketed in Italy. So obviously we've heard stories about when our friends have been pickpocketed and we sort of just nod it off. We're like, yeah, I mean, oh man, it sucks. And we sort of just like, yeah, yeah. And then we never think about the chance of it happening to us. Or when we do think about the chance of it happening to us, we sort of just like think about the things that we would do if we were in that situation. We'd be like, oh my god, dude, if someone pickpockets me, like I'd get a gun and like I'd shoot him in the throat, or I would get a pipe and just like launch it in his face and rip his head off and just turn his and then just light him up. But in reality, like when it does happen to you, all that stuff goes out the window and you have no plan. You end up freezing, and then you'll see later on. So as we know, well, as you don't know, as I know, I'm gonna tell you guys the biggest transport mechanism in Italy is the train or the metro. Like public transport is how we get around because taxis are too expensive, and the cars, it's difficult to find parking space, whatever. So I'm taking a train, mind you. This is like December of last year. This is around a year ago, which is why I'm telling this story. And so it was during my exam period. And so I study with friends, right? So, because I have friends. So I get on the train to go to my friend's house to review. And so I'm on the train, and I think it was a Saturday, like 10 a.m. or something. So no one is on the train. No one is on the train, not a single soul. So I get on the train, and I'm just relaxed. I put my bag down, I lie down. Well, I don't lie down, I sit. And I have my earphones plugged in, and so I'm just jamming out because that's what I do. I jam out. I listen to music on the train. So I was like bumping that One Direction. I was bumping that Justin Bieber, Jacob Sartorius, just the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening to music. My stop gets called. I get my bag. I get my stuff, and I have everything I need. It's just my bag with my school stuff, and then it's just like the normal stuff that I need. So the way that the train doors open is you just press a button and then you wait 5 seconds and then the doors opened. So when I was walking to the door to leave, no one was on the train still. It was just me. So I was just relatively relaxed. And so I pressed the button and it says like dee dee dee, and then the doors open, right? So I'm like, all right. So I take a step to go off the train, and like, when you disconnect an adapter, you're listening to music and you just like rip the thing off, you just hear like a little like, and then your music stops. So like now a horn was singing and then it just stopped, right? So I was a bit like ticked off, right? And so my immediate reaction is to turn around. So I turn around and I see this guy. Dude, I got so scared, man. So basically this dude was, relatively like, old looking, a bit, bagged up. You could tell he didn't shower in like a couple of weeks, and, he smelled of cigarettes. And then I look down and like I see my phone. And so I'm like, how do you have my phone? And so then he starts just frantically apologizing to me like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. What, you didn't mean to take my phone from my pocket? Like, the way that he apologized made it look like my phone like crawled out of my pocket into his hand and he had nothing to do with it. And so like immediately, like I was in shock. I was like, okay, like I've just been pickpocketed by this guy. All the thoughts that I had in my head, like, oh, I'm gonna grab him. If he ever does anything like that, all that stuff flew out of the window. Like I had nothing. Like I had my two hands, I had my wallet in my pocket. I had my shoe. Like I could have kicked him, but I didn't. Okay, I didn't kick him. I just grabbed my phone and I just like slowly like walk away. And so then for the rest of like my ride there, because then I switched to the metro, and then I was just thinking about what had just happened, and it happened to me. I also started thinking about how because I usually have wireless headphones, Beats by Dre, they don't sponsor me, so I'm not going to give you guys that plug. Those 10 people can stay with me. But if I had wireless headphones in, he would have taken my phone because I wouldn't have heard anything, you know, because the way that he slipped it out of my pocket, I need to emphasize this, because my music disconnected as soon as I stepped forward. So what he did is he pretty much, what I'm guessing is, he pinched my phone from my pocket, and as I stepped out, he like slowly slipped it out. Like I didn't feel a thing. Usually when it's really crowded, you feel people on your back, right? But because it was only me and like this other dude that I didn't know was there, like it was weird to feel pressure because there's space. As the doors were about to open, I felt his pressure on my back. So I was focusing on that. Psychologically, I was like, why is this guy like putting so much pressure on my back? And so I quickly step out, and then my phone slips, thing disconnects, and then that's what happens. These guys are so good at doing this stuff, like to make you think about, like to shift your focus from like something else, and then so that they can like get the other thing that you're not thinking about. Because usually when I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in like public transport or anywhere, I'm like feeling my pockets like 17 times a second. There's times where I'm calling someone on the phone, and then I feel my pocket, my phone's not there. I get a mini like seizure, and then I realize I'm on the phone, and so I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot. But that's what happens. And so by putting that pressure on my back, I stopped thinking about my phone, and then he got it. It would have been crazy if I had wireless headphones in, because I wouldn't have felt it. I would have walked away, and then, you know, Jacob Sartorius would have slowly faded, and then it would have just slowly like disappeared. And then I would have felt my phone, and it wouldn't have been there, and then I would have probably exploded. Something that I got out of this lesson is to always be aware of your surroundings, and to never be too comfortable in the situation in which you're in. Because I mean, I was the only one on the train. I was just chilling out, right? But you never know what can happen. This isn't to say that you're going to get killed in the next place you go, or you're going to get robbed wherever you go. But at the same time, it's good to be cautious of, your surroundings, and just be extra aware. Like now that I think back, my phone is relatively big, and so you could sort of see it through my like pocket stuck out towards the top. So like, it's also those kinds of things. Like don't show these signs of, your products. Try to keep that to yourself. I hope you guys like this story as much as I didn't like being in it. But if you like this type of content, this type of storytelling stuff, I have more things to say. So if you guys want to hear more of it, let me know by liking the video. And if this has happened to you, if you've been pickpocketed, or you've seen someone be pickpocketed, like let me know in the comments below. I want to see how you guys reacted to it. I'm curious to see what happened to you guys. And lastly, like make sure you subscribe and tick the notification bell. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.